morning, or afternoon, or night, whenever you're watching this. Today's moto vlog is brought to you by Preparation H. Got an itchy butt with a hemorrhoid? Take Preparation H. Keep in mind, I'm really not sponsored by Preparation H, and if I was, I would never tell anybody. Boy. Alright guys, so the topic for today is taking back a little bit of sweet revenge on my buddy Josh. This is just a military story, or when I was in the military. It doesn't relate to the military in too many ways. I guess it does, but I guess it doesn't. Either way, so the story has like a little bit of a build-up to it. And my buddy Josh used to live with me back in the day. And he invited my buddy Jonathan, and we were over there hanging out. And it was getting pretty late at night. I don't know, because we worked night shift, so we were always up earlier in the mornings. So I don't know, it was probably like maybe, I don't know, maybe midnight, close to that, something. And I was going to the kitchen to get something to eat. And all of a sudden I kept hearing this fucking creepy voice talking to me, man. And I was freaking the fuck out. Because I had no idea what was going on, you know, because Di and damn Josh were both in the other room or something. I'm not sure what they were doing, but I just kept hearing this fucking voice talking to me. And it was like saying like really creepy, like whispering shit. Like some shit you'd hear in a fucking horror movie. Come to find out, they had put a fucking telephone in the corner somewhere, and I turned up the volume real loud, and I kept hearing this fucking creepy voice that they had gotten from, I don't know, maybe The Exorcist or some shit. So that really freaked me the fuck out, man. They came out laughing. We got you. Fuck, dirty little bitches, man. I'm gonna get them back. And so, weeks go by, man, and I'm out with Jonathan on our game warner patrol, and Josh was riding my buddy Jason at the time. They're on the, well, let me give a rundown. The base was broken down into a couple of sections, and each police patrol had a section that they patrolled, and they stayed in that zone, which I'm pretty sure happens here in all states. They're designated area, and they stay in that area. So Josh was on either the police patrol that was on the housing side of the base, or he was right there in between, kind of like doing the free lap where he can run around. Like Police 1 was our area supervisor. He can go wherever he wanted to. So, going back to my statement, Josh was on patrol with Jason, and me and Di both got a wild hair up our butt to just scare the fuck out of him. So we were going down 203 Range Road, which was where we went to go shoot our 203 Cheeto Puff rounds off at. And this is a creepy place, man. This is like way out in the back of the woods, man. It go on these creepy ass turns, and there's all sorts of stories I could tell you about that fucking place, man, that I've heard from other people that are out there. But either ways, the people, everybody knows that this place at base is particular one place that you want to be by yourself ever in the middle of the night, man. And this is about maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, which was perfect because that's the witching hour. So we're going down 203 Range Road, me and Jonathan, and we see this police patrol coming up behind us way out in the distance. We're like, fuck, let's get ahead of them. And so we haul ass down the road, man. We got this big ass like F-250, F-350 or some shit. And me and Di are scrambling trying to find somewhere to hide, man. And there's really only one place you can hide. It's behind a big tree or this one building that was dilapidated and had been run down for years. So we get all set up, we hide out there, man, and we're behind the building, and we turn off all our shit so you can't hear anything. And we have this intercom system, which all police patrols have. And me and Di are like, fuck, dude, let's get Josh back. And we knew it was Josh because there's only a certain amount of people could be out there in that area. So it's either going to be Josh or it's going to be whoever else is on the other patrol. And we start messing around with the intercom, putting like creepy shit out over the fucking intercom. And Jason gets on the radio and calls into our, you know, our base monitoring system. And he calls it on the radio. You can hear him. This is when we had this, had a flight chief who was really not one that you wanted upset, man. She was, granted, she was a really good lady, man. She knew her shit, and she made sure her troops did too. But she wasn't one for really screwing around, so we had to kind of be easy about what we were doing. So we start messing around, putting that creepy shit that I heard on over the intercom. But this one was a bit different. It was like la la da la la, like creepy ass shit that you hear in like Freddy Krueger movies. And it was going over intercom, so you could hear it behind that building, and it took that echo off, which just made it sound like somebody was out in the woods singing. It was creepy as fuck. I freaking tears in my eyes thinking about myself, and I was the one doing it. And so you hear Jason come over the radio like, "Lighting, this is Police 3. We were following this one vehicle down 203 Range Road, and now it's gone, and we're hearing all sorts of weird stuff out here. Can you send backup?" And I guess it took our base patrol monitoring system to take a few minutes to soak it all in. Like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, there's some freaky shit going on? And so before it gets too out of hand, you know, because we don't want this fucking shit to actually turn out to be something, you know, of major concern, or send up our FP con up to a fucking level 99, which is there's only a few FP cons, man, but I'm not getting into that. So guy hops out of the vehicle and runs around out in the fucking woods, and he gets up behind the patrol car, and they're both sitting in the car looking around, freaking the fuck out. I'm still messing around because I didn't really care too much, man. I thought it was kind of funny. So honestly, before it got too out of hand, man, Di comes up, man, from behind the vehicle, gets on Jason's side of the vehicle, knocks, ah! It scares the fuck out of him, man. And I know Josh says that he wasn't scared, but I mean, if it was me in this predicament, I would tell everybody, it fucking freaked me out. I would have fucking had a heart attack. But Jason was like, fuck, dude, you had me all scared, dude. I was seriously about to pull my gun out and start shooting shit. But needless to say, I know I got Josh back for that one particular incident. So, Josh, I don't know if we're caught up yet or not, man, but I'm sure there's plenty more funny ass fucking get backs we're gonna get on each other. And that's something we always did on patrol, man. We always messed with each other, man. We always wanted to go explore crazy shit. And we always told ghost stories, dude. Regardless of the fact you believe ghosts are... I'm out of it today. I'm always out of it. So, regardless of the fact if you believe in ghosts or not, it was something that you passed time with, man. And I mean, like I said, if you're not into that shit, the stories some people would tell, man. Andy Nolin, that kid had the scariest fucking story I've ever heard in my life. Now, I'm not one that's really good for telling stories, especially ones that's been told by somebody else in return. But here's the gist of a story he told me. He said that he was at home, and I might be getting this wrong, and if you watch this, Andy, I apologize. But the gist was, he was sitting at home, and he got a phone call from one of his little friends. She was a female, and she was at this church, and she was apparently there all by herself. And the story I got from him was that she was there by herself, cleaning up, and she kept hearing stuff moving around in the attic. And she was like, oh shit, this is kind of weird. And so she kind of went about her shit, kind of getting everything set up, and she went back in the room apparently, and she kept hearing the stuff moving around. And it was freaking her out. I guess she was hearing more noises besides the scuffling and the ruffling and all that shit. So she calls up Andy, scared as shit. Andy says that he goes over there, and he's like, all right, calm down, tell me what happened. So So the girl gives Andy the rundown. I'm telling you, he can tell this much better, and I wish I could get him to make a recording of this, and I'll post it in the video if you ever can. I'll see if I can talk him into making a recording. But the gist is, he got a ladder. This noise was coming above the pastor's office. So he gets a ladder or a chair or something, and he opens up a little crawl space door that's above the pastor's desk. And he can hear it too. He can hear the moving around and the shuffling and I guess talking or some shit. He's like, holy fuck, let me take a look. And so he gets up there with a flashlight. He just gets up just enough to get his body up there and look around. And he says he can see something in the back corner behind all these boxes of shit, like moving around, like almost like an outline of somebody. And he starts talking to it, like, hey, whoever's back there, come on out. I can see you. And you're freaking everybody out. Come on out. And you know, I promise, you know, nothing bad will happen. And he keeps repeating himself because whatever's behind the box won't move. Well, he kind of gets a little angry and starts getting, you know, more affirmative with the figure. And when he does, this face, he says, pops out from behind this box. And he says it was the most horrifying face he could think of. You know, just the way he told me, it freaked me out. I can't even remember how he described it, but it brought me to tears, honestly. And so he said he almost fell from off the fucking ladder because it was so fucking terrifying. He's like, oh fucking god, and, you know, he scrambled to his fucking his feet after he landed on the ground, and he ran out of there. Him and that girl left in a heartbeat. And, you know, regardless of the fact that these stories are true, I'm not one to tell anybody that the stories are not true either, because, hey, I wasn't there to experience it. And shit like that can happen, man. I mean, honestly, it could be a hobo with a fucked up face for all I know. But like I said, I've never wanted to deny someone's stories unless it just sounds absolutely off the wall. But this story sounds so heartfelt and true, man. And I'm telling you, it was so scary. The whole night I was there like, fucking looking around my shoulder and shit. So that's really that was a scary experience, man. Just to sit there and listen to a few people's stories that night, man. I'm telling you, we worked in the midst of the night. It wasn't getting off at like 3 o'clock and going home like, oh, all right, getting the rest of my time to myself. No, you sat out there in the dark. And I'll be getting more into other stories through these vlogs as time goes on, man. But I just wanted to share with you guys a couple of these, oh god! It's like somebody hit me in the fucking neck with like a rope made out of fucking sand. It's like Indiana Jones had a whiplash made with fucking sandpaper and right across my neck. Needless to say, there's gonna be a couple breakout spots on my neck. But definitely, man, I'll be getting more into these ghost stories. I've never actually, well, I can't say I've never seen a ghost, but I've seen some shit, and I've heard some shit. And I'm not sure how much time I have on here. And if I cut it short from the story I'm about to tell, then I'll upload it as a second video, because I'm still trying to test the rendering grounds. I was, like I said, in middle school probably, somewhere around this time frame, and we lived in this crazy ass trailer park next to the swamp here in Tallahassee, off Jackson Bluff. And when I was a kid, these older people would tell me stories about this old lady that lived out in the swamp. And there was an old house, and apparently there was something out there originally. There was a house out that had like a bridge across it that this lady lived on. I don't know what happened to her, or, you know, maybe she moved out, maybe the house just got dilapidated, I don't know. But I almost remember an instance where we went out in the woods and they were showing us, and there was a house out there. And this ties into the story I'm telling. Ugh, my balls. So the story is, we were out playing basketball one day after school, And it was getting close to the end of the semester, so it was maybe in the springtime, because it was warm. And I was out playing with my buddy Pookie, and I'm telling you, that's his name. His name was Pookie, and his brother Sterling, and a few other kids from the neighborhood. And our basketball court was in between all these open power line roads that went far as I could see way back. And off to the left in the woods was the swamp where the house was, and off to the right was just more woods. And so we're sitting out there, and I remember it's getting, you know, pretty late in the afternoon. The sun was going down. I could see the fucking shit in my face because we were facing was going towards the west, so the sun was setting in the west. And I was getting pretty hot. Got myself a little drink from my Gatorade or whatever it was I had with me at the time. And I remember as I stood up from sitting down, I look over to the left-hand corner of the power line road, and out from the woods came this lady. And I promise you, dude, for all my life, this was the scariest fucking lady I've ever seen in my life. And she had like this weird soft glow to her. I don't know if it was just because of the time of day or what, but I remember this in particular. She had a big sun hat, a tan sun hat, and she is a rather large lady. And she had like a drapey, like almost like a poncho, like the same color poncho, a tannish poncho that was floating around. And she had these two big ass dogs she was like trying to hold back in there and pulling her along. And it was just the creepiest fucking thing that I've ever seen in my life, man. And she literally looked like a ghost. And everyone said that the lady that lived out there had like this like witchy tendency to her, man. You know, that's just the stories people will tell to freak you the fuck out. But again, I'm not one to say anything isn't true, because there are people that are like that. But I remember seeing this lady come from out in the woods. She had these big dogs, like they were Doberman Pinschers or fucking damn pit bulls or something. And they were pulling her along. She was just, you know, had this weird smile on her face, and she was walking from point A, which was the swamp, over to the right-hand side, which was just more parts of the wood behind the basketball court. And I started freaking out, you know, I was lost for words at first. And I was trying to tell everybody, hey, look, and everyone was playing basketball, you know. A couple seconds later, I got them all to stop because I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, you guys see that lady? And they all look, and that lady wasn't there anymore. I promise you, dude, she fucking, either she went across that fucking, the open road really fucking fast, or she was a fucking ghost, man. I'm telling you, this was the scariest shit. If I could ever paint an image of this shit, I would, man. It's like one of those things you see in those more scary stories that tell in the dark. One of those images that those fucking weird-ass people had painted or drawn. It was just terrifying. And that was the first time I ever seen anything that really, you know, like related to any ghost stories I ever heard or anything. And it was just, it was a weird coincidence that it came from out, she came out of the woods. So I'm telling you, that set me off for a lifetime of watching my back, you know. And like I said, I'm not one to say that ghosts are real. I'm not one to say that ghosts aren't real. But I have been to plenty of places that people have speculated to be haunted. And some, nothing. Others, good activity, man. But I've never, like, physically, like, as an adult, seen, like, a ghostly image or anything like that. So, if you guys want to, in the comments below, leave like a quick description of your ghost story, or for instance, make your own video and attach it to the comments, man, and I'll watch them, man, and I'll definitely give you my feedback, man. I know a lot of people are going to say ghosts aren't real, and that's fine. Again, like I said, I'm not one to say they are, I'm not one to say they aren't, but like I said, I've had my own experiences. I can't claim that they're paranormal, but damn, they were terrifying. I'll promise you that. So, like I said, guys, leave a comment, and if you want to, feel free to share the video, like the video, whatever you want to do. I'm not one for really instigating anything for what you need to do for my videos, but I definitely appreciate you watching, and thanks again for the 90 subscribers that I've got. 91, I think, is what I saw today. That's crazy, dude. Thank you, guys. So we'll get some giveaway set up here in the near future, and that's going to be my video for today. Alright guys, see ya.